So maybe you all can explain to me something. How come the only good movies that the Dread Pirate has seen this year are Shape of Water, the Marvel movies, and The Purge? How come a Purge to the prequel, a prequel to the Purge series, is a better film? 100% better film, straight up enjoyable and a treasure to watch compared to the last two Star Wars movies. How come the last two Star Wars movies have been god-awful pieces of fucking shit? How come a Purge movie is better than a Jurassic Park film? What the fuck is going on, man? What the fuck? Alright, so naturally, you haven't noticed by the title, we're going to talk about the First Purge, which I just saw recently. And short and sweet and no spoilers. I really liked the First Purge. I thought it was really good. It was a breath of fucking fresh air. Because seriously, it's like I've had a good time at the movie theater, but like not as good a time as I was hoping. Again, seriously, like the only things I've seen this year is like the January 1st, the first of the year, I saw Shape of Water, and Shape of Water was really good. And then Marvel. Marvel's been good. Black Panther was really good. Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and even like Deadpool 2, which is X-Men, so it doesn't really count. But it's like, yeah, all those have been really awesome. But like, yeah, then Solo was garbage, expected. Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom, yeah, the trailer looked bad. We should have known better that it was going to be garbage. But yeah, it was just like, yeah, what the fuck, man? Can I get a blockbuster here that's worth a damn? And sure enough, the First Purge of all people, of all shows, delivers, and delivers very, very well. I want to take a moment here to talk about my feelings on the Purge films. I've always been meaning to kind of talk about the Purge movies and kind of get it out there and get my opinion on it. But yeah, so when you're talking about the Purge movies, most people fall into a couple of camps. You've got people that love the Purge movies. They love them. They think they're so good, and they're scary because that's the way our country's going. Our country, eventually, we're gonna get to that point where yeah, it's just gonna be us killing each other in the streets. It's gonna be that bad. Our country's gonna wound up like that. Then there's the other camp. The other camp is people that hate the Purge movies. They can't stand the Purge movies, and it's like, this is stupid. This is ridiculous. This would never happen. This would like our society would never get to this point. These movies are dumb, trash. They hate them. Then there's me. As a rule, I like the Purge movies. I like them a lot. Why? I'll tell you why. The Purge movies remind me of one episode of Star Trek, of the original series, called The Return of the Archons. So, yeah, it seriously reminds me of this one forgotten episode of the original Star Trek series. And so, like, a little brief explanation of what's going on. So, Kirk and Spock find this planet, which it's kind of Victorian England, and it's kind of its dress sense and whatnot. But basically, everybody on the planet is mind controlled. And there's this I think it's Mentat or something. I forget its name. There's oh god, Trekkies are gonna fucking crucify me here. I forget the name, but there's this mysterious figure that rules the entire planet and appears to people and seems to have some sort of godlike power. Kirk and his crew eventually discovered that it's an evil robot that is using a holographic projection, and it's actually probably got the brain patterns of a scientist who created this machine for the purpose of saving this world. He saved this civilization many, many centuries ago, but then he died, and so this artificial intelligence has been trying to maintain human life or humanoid life on this planet, and basically keep a rigid social structure in order to keep everybody safe. Some of the characters that involved here are like it has these minions that are people in these crazy robes that have these staves like wizards or like cultists, and they zap people with them and they mind control them, and they take them back and rehabilitate them. And here's the thing: if you obey the computer's rules and the laws governed in this world, he doesn't mess with you. He doesn't mind control you because there's no reason to do it. But if he doesn't do that, well, then you get mind controlled and you're all kind of spacey, and you're like, yeah, and your mind has been shaped a certain way. So what I'm going to talk about here in terms of the Purge is a very minor part of the episode. It's like the least important thing of the entire episode. But it's what reminds me of the Purge. Okay, so the episode starts off is that Sulu's on the planet, and he's checking the place out. He gets attacked by the wizard guys. The wizard guys zap him right before Scotty's able to beam him back up. Scotty beams him back up, and like Sulu's all crazy now. He's all crazy. He's like, and his mind's all fucked up and mind controlled. So naturally, Kirk's like, okay, I got to figure out what's going on with this planet so we can help Sulu. So him and Spock and McCoy, as usual, they dress up in these Victorian costumes, and They head down to the planet's surface and they start talking to people. And they talk to a lady, and this lady comes up and she's got this kind of spacey look in her eye. She's all like, it's like, oh, hello, how are you? Or are you here for the festival? And Kirk plays it cool. It's like, yeah, we're here for the festival. Yeah. And it's like, oh, that's wonderful. Oh, doctor, come over here. And she ushers in another guy to come over here. It's like, these people, they come into town, they're here for the festival. It's like, oh, well, you're almost out of time. The festival starts at 12 o'clock. Look. And they point to a clock, and the clock's about ticking away to 12 o'clock. And it's like, it's about to start right now. And it goes to 12 o'clock, and the woman instantly starts screaming. Ah! And she starts grabbing her head, screaming like a fucking maniac. And the guy that he called over that was all nice grabs her and like takes her off to go rape her. And then everybody in the fucking city just starts beating the fucking shit out of each other and raping each other and smashing shit. They just go ape shit and beat the fuck out of everybody. And Kirk's like, what the fuck? And Kirk is like running. Even Spock, who's normally like mellow and cool and Mr. Emotionless, he's got a little up in his step. It's like, we must move, Captain. It's that's why I like the Purge movies. They remind me of that one scene from classic Star Trek. And that's the thing that's important to note, is that I always look at the Purge movies as a science fiction film first, because that's basically what it is. It's in a not too distant future where the government has instituted a corrupt government has instituted a crazy policy, and now it's this world where crazy shit happens, where basically every year we have a murder Christmas in order to get out all of our pent-up aggression, and that has somehow saved the world and saved, unemployment's down, and everything's fixed and everything's better. It's like, people, all crime's down because we get all of our violent aggression out once a year, and everything's better. And of course, a lot of people are like, this is just an excuse to kill the lower classes, and it's purging the populace and all that, and that's our premise. I think in that episode, it's never explained why that crazy scene happens, why the festival exists in the original Star Trek, but I believe, as a fan, the computer, the alien computer, like, put everybody through these strict rules of what they can and can't do in order to save their society and keep them regimented. But he didn't know what to do about human aggression. He didn't know what to do about, like, our basic inner primal urges. So I think, like, especially seeing he's a computer and he doesn't know how to do it, he decided, like, well, why don't I just make it once a year? They get it all out of their system at one time in order to regulate human aggression. So that's what the festival's all about. And essentially, the Purge is the same premise. And that's the thing. I look at the Purge movies as a science fiction film, I personally don't think this will ever happen to our society. If we ever get to the point where a purge happens, we are completely far gone as a civilization. I think there will be enough moral outrage that even if people thought, yeah, this is a good idea, enough people with some common sense would just smack them in the head and be like, bitch, you crazy? They would not fucking feel. They would just like, hell no, and we'd have a revolution we'd have a revolution before we'd ever have a freaking purge. So I'm not in that camp. I don't think that's ever going to happen. No matter how bad I think Trump is as a president, or no matter how bad politics get, it's like, at the end of the day, I think there's enough of us out there that have common sense and act accordingly for it all to work out. But as a science fiction film, as just taking a concept and rolling with it, I think it's a very interesting one, and I think it's pretty fun. What I also like is, in particular, I really like the first two Purge movies. I feel like the first one sets up the premise very well. The second one plays with it. The second one plays with the concept and just kind of goes nuts. Like, all right, now we're in the middle of a city. Our hero is I forget this actor's name. I need to memorize this actor's name, but it's like the guy that plays Crossbones in Captain America: Winter Soldier and Captain America: Civil War. It's like he's our hero for the movie. He's our hero for the movie. He's running around trying to keep these people alive, and he's got his own little mission in both movies. The first time, it's like in Purge 2, he wants to kill the guy that hit his kid with a car. In the second movie, he's protecting Juliet from Lost, who's our Hillary Clinton presidential candidate. He's trying to protect her during the whole night. That's our setup. To me, like, both those movies, in particular Purge 2, plays with the concept very, very well. But I think another reason why I like the Purge movies is, especially the first one, is it's because of the next door neighbor. It's because of that happy next door neighbor who comes over. You want to have a purge party? We got cookies. You know, it's like her, and the fact that at the end of the movie they decided to murder their friends, and it's where I realized something. As a fan of science fiction and fantasy and other nerdy things, I love dystopian settings. I love Fallout. I love Terminator. I love Days of Future Past, or any dystopian future you see in comic books. There's a lot. I've seen a lot of these dystopias. I've seen zombie movies. I've seen crazy futures where it's like Nazis riding dinosaurs. It's like, that's, all sorts of kind of crazy post-apocalyptic futures. Ethan Van Sciver is working on Cyberfrog Blood Honey right now, where we're taken over by killer mutant wasps who want to use us to make their terrible, vile honey. It's like dystopias are a lot of fun. But here's one of my personal favorite dystopias is in a movie that not a whole lot of people know about, but for those of you who watch me, I would like, which is In the Mouth of Madness. In the Mouth of Madness is a H.P. Lovecraft inspired movie, where having to do with Cthulhu and the Great Old Ones, and a twisted Stephen King like author known as Sutter Kane. It stars Sam Neill. The movie ends. Spoiler for In the Mouth of Madness. Sorry, folks. Spoiler for In the Mouth of Madness. The movie ends with Sam Neill completely insane, sitting in a movie theater watching a movie that is his life story, laughing hysterically and psychotically so he doesn't cry, while the entire rest of the earth is completely gone and abandoned, because the world is empty because the Great Old Ones rose up and killed us all and ate us and left Sam Neill alive, and he's the last man on earth, cackling and laughing at a video screen of his life, so he doesn't freaking go insane. I've seen that. I've seen the ending of Ash vs. the Evil Dead recently, where the Deadites take over. I've seen a lot of dystopias, and after watching the Purge movies, I will take every single fucking shitty dystopian future over the Purge world. The Purge universe, in my opinion, is the most fucked up, hellish, twisted apocalyptic setting you could name. Because you know what? At least with the zombies, I know where I stand. At least with the Terminators, I know what I stand. No matter what your villain is, Terminators, Sentinels, Apocalypse, zombies, Great Old Ones, it doesn't fucking matter what your bad guy is or your reason for the dystopian future. At least with the zombies, I know where I stand. The zombies are going to kill me, they're going to eat me, they're going to devour my flesh. That's what's going to happen. Like, the fucking xenomorph's going to bite my fucking face in and kill me, or it's going to impregnate me with its spawn, and that's it. The Terminators are going to kill me. They might make me do some forced labor first. That's what they're going to do. Not in the Purge universe. Not in the fucking Purge universe. No. The Purge universe, 364 days out of the year, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Your neighbors are just cool and chill with you. Your daughter's boyfriend seems like a cool guy. Your best friend, everything's cool, everything's fine. But sometime during that year, you might shortchange a friend of yours or something like that. You might piss somebody off by accident. You might cut somebody off on your way to work, and then all of a sudden, on that one day of the year on the Purge night, those friends, those people that you thought you were cool with, they suddenly come to your house and try to murder you with an axe. They suddenly come showing up with wearing fucking masks like they're the fucking Joker and try to chainsaw you in half, all because you pissed them off one time. No. Fuck that. Fuck the Purge universe. Fuck that. I want nothing to do with that. No. I will take my chance with the fucking Terminators. No. Yeah, let Judgment Day happen. Let it happen. Let it happen, Sarah Connor. I don't give a shit. No, I will fucking deal with the robots. I will deal with the robots. If I was in the Purge universe right now, no, fuck that. I'm leaving the country. I'm leaving the fucking country. I'm getting the fuck. No, I'm dipping. I'm dipping the fuck out. You know what? That's not good enough. That's not good enough, because in Purge 3 we saw that other countries are like, oh, we should do our own purges. Yeah, it's a trend that's catching in that fucked up universe. No, get me off the planet. Get me off the planet. Get me in a fucking rocket and shit. I will take my chances in outer space. I'll go to Mars like Matt Damon in The Martian, and I'll live there. I'll become a botanist. I'll figure it out. It'll be fine. Fuck that. I'm not living in the Purge universe. It is the most twisted dystopia I've ever seen. It's a world again, and I think a lot of people they don't appreciate its premise the way I do. It's like, yeah, the Purge doesn't make sense, because it's like that's the thing. It's the obvious It's obviously a tool of a corrupt government, of a corrupt society. It's the only place where anybody could actually get away with something like that. All this bullshit of, oh, you're getting all your demons out once a year. No, no, no. You murder someone, you cross a line. You cross a line, and it's like and given the way our society works, it's like as much as I enjoy the Purge movies, I've never felt that civilization would last if it continued on doing purges, because something happens. Like, once you basically are saying, you can't say it's okay to murder someone. You can't say it's okay to break every law for once a year, because it's essentially you're saying we have given up as a civilization. We have given up as a people. We've given up on morality. Instead of doing the right thing all the time, which is what you're supposed to do when you're a good person. It's what you're really supposed to try to do when you're a good person. Oh, once a year, do whatever you want. That guy pissed you off stab his fucking face in. And what's interesting, especially by the time you get to the first 3 Purge movies, prior to what I want to get in, I want to get into it more with the first Purge, the prequel. But by the time we get to the point where the Purge is a regular occurrence in the first 3 movies, this is a world where once a year a large selection of the population goes out and just murders people in the streets wantonly and brutally, and see nothing. Or even if they've never done it before, sometimes they choose, like the girl in the second movie who murders her sister because she's sleeping with her husband. This is a civilization where everybody thinks murder is okay. It's just okay. It's all right. Everybody in this world, this is a world where 50% of the population is the fucking Joker. And it doesn't matter how nice they are the rest of the year. It doesn't matter if they obey the law the rest of the year. That one night, they cross the line and they do whatever they feel like. And let's also not acknowledge the fact that basically all crime is legal on the Purge. Let's not forget the dude that broke into the main girl's the main family's home in Purge 2, who didn't want to just kill her. He wanted to have some fun with her, because all crime is legal. Rape's legal, theft is legal, everything's legal on the Purge. A society can't maintain this. It's like we already have people breaking the law anyway, no matter what laws you have in place. But if you say as a society, once a year it's fine, you've basically given up. You've given up on your humanity. People may not always be good, but it's like, people think they're good. People justify their morality one way or another. And when you've stopped doing that, you failed as a civilization. And if it hadn't gone on as it continued to go on, if the Purge hadn't been outlawed in Purge 3, that civilization would probably have continued to crumble if it maintained that. And again, we don't know what's going on in that world, because again, the teaser at the ending of Purge 3 is that riots start. Like, once they took the Purge away, people start rioting, because now they have a civilization of people who want to fucking murder each other, and have been spoiled and given the opportunity, that taste for blood. You have a whole bigger problem there. This is basically a world that breeds murderers as a civilization, as a culture. And that's very nightmarish. And I think it works not only well as a science fiction premise, but as a horror premise and as an action premise. And so I genuinely really do like these movies. The first one sets up the premise very, very well. The second one is a great action movie and really explores the premise further. The third movie I enjoyed, but in my personal opinion, it's the weakest of the series. My problem with Purge 3 is that it's like, and again, I love Juliet from Lost, and I'm spacing on her name as we speak as well. I know that's not her actual name, but for my money, Purge 3 was just way too Trump versus Hillary. It was the same year as that election, and it was obvious. It was I could feel it. It was Trump versus Hillary in the Purge universe. And I don't need this. I don't need this in my fantasy escapism. I don't know. Stop. And it's like, on top of that, if you want to have any, I could see people projecting. Yeah, I could see people. Oh yeah, Trump's was the Purge president. Yeah, he's a crazy. Yeah, that. And people I hate Trump, but is he really that? Is he that bad? I think he's bad. I don't think he's that bad. It's like come on, fucking, let's be real here, people. And then Juliet's clearly freaking Hillary, and it's like, And if you ever want, like, you know, and I feel like anything you hate about Hillary Clinton is, like, can be accentuated in her character and in the dumb decisions that character makes. And that's the thing. I really like the actress, and I think acting wise she did a good job. I didn't really like the way her character was written. I felt like she was making, like, really bad decisions, like, the whole movie. Not getting herself to a secure location, especially with everything riding on her, giving Crossbones shit when he wants to protect her using lethal force, which is what makes sense while a purge is going on. And then, like, for me, the icing on the cake is the ending of the movie. And it bothers me, too, because it's like this character, we see at the beginning of the movie, her parents were murdered during a previous purge, and she was captured and almost got killed during that time as well. We don't get all the details of how she survived that. And then during the course of the movie, she gets through this harrowing situation where she's getting attacked by purge maniacs. She gets abducted by the new founding fathers. They put her in a creepy black mask scenario where they're worshiping the murder of her, and they murder a guy in front of her, which she has to watch. They torture her, and then they try to kill her. Crossbones runs in, kicks a bunch of ass with the resistance movement, and, you know, starts killing a bunch of the purge maniacs. And she actually has the opportunity to kill him, and he's all like, do it, justify me, go ahead, purge, I believe in this, go ahead. And she's all like, no, I'm not going to do that, I'm going to beat you on election day. And it's like, you know, all right, look, I get it. I love Lord of the Rings too, and I get one of the best messages in the original book and in the movie with Lord of the Rings is, like, yes, Frodo, you know, there are many out there that deserve death. There are so much more that deserve life. One must be very careful to hand out death too easily. I understand. I get what you're trying to say here, that you're trying to be the better person and not murder this guy. Here's the thing, though. This is not the fucking time, lady. This guy fucking abducted you, tortured you, almost killed you, and it's legal on this night. He's gonna get away scot-free. He's not gonna suffer this all one way or another. And what if, Juliet, what if you don't fucking win the election? What if you don't fucking win? Then next year, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get purged again, and this cycle will continue. Just kill the guy. Look, Gandalf, if he was there right now, he was like, just kill him already. It was like now's not the time. You could kill this one. Gandalf would have fucking taken his fucking staff and bashed that motherfucker's head in. It was like, now is the time to kill. Fly, you fool. It's ridiculous. It's like, I don't, and that's the thing. And Josh was fucking with me like a minute ago. It's like he's saying that in an alternate universe where Hillary won, I'd be praising this film as the best one of how it predicted the future. And it's just, you know, Blumhouse has got its thumb on the pulse of America, you know, in that alternate world where Hillary won the election. But it's not a bad film. I still enjoy it. It's just, in my opinion, it's the weakest of the Purge movies. I really like the crazy girl in the Statue of Liberty outfit who's all like, I want my candy. I'm gonna do you like I did my parents. I want my candy. I like her. She was fun. She was a fun little villain. I thought she was a treat. She was cool. I was digging that. But for my money, it's the weakest one. But so I've been rambling on for 20 minutes. Let's talk about the actual movie here. Let's talk about the First Purge. So I was worried. Because, you know, again, I feel like the Purge movies, though I like them, have an inherent dumbness to them. Inherently, but it doesn't bother me. It's a fun dumb, so I'm cool with it. And it's and also it's a prequel. It's like prequels. It's like, man, I don't need a prequel, and especially not for this. So I was very hesitant going into it. But at the end of the day, with the First Purge, I really fucking liked it. I really enjoyed it. I think the thing I liked the most was I loved the main character. I loved Dimitri. I loved the idea that our hero is a drug lord who has no choice but to defend the community. He has no choice but to do the right thing and actually defend the community from what's going on here. And he winds up becoming a better man as a result. I thought, and that's the thing. The movie starts off, oh, he's a fucking drug lord. He's a bad guy. He's not a good dude. But it's like it was kind of neat. It was kind of neat seeing the criminals, like, you know, defend the community and defend everybody. I thought that was actually really cool. Especially what I liked was I really liked. It reminded me of V, which is the old science fiction series they had back in the 80s starring Mark Singer about the lizard people, alien visitors that come in. And one of the cool things about V is there's like a character in it. It's a big ensemble cast. It's one of the first. It's one of the first appearances of Freddy Krueger. Oh my God, am I spacing on Freddy Krueger's name? Why am I fuck? My God, you know I don't know what it is. Why I keep forgetting. Like I have like these memory lapses when I fucking do these videos. Oh my God, I'm gonna feel like an idiot. But yeah, like the actor who plays Freddy Krueger, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name right now. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is wrong with me? I know this guy. Everybody knows this guy. What the fuck is wrong with me? I love this guy. Anyway, he appeared. He's one of the aliens in V. He's a lizard man, but he actually falls in love with a human, and it kind of shows you that not all the aliens are bad. And but like the whole point is like the aliens come in and they form like a fascist regime when they take over the place. And one of the main characters, it's the big ensemble cast, is a drug dealer who winds up becoming a hero to the resistance. Because as a criminal, he can get shit they need. He can get weapons. He's already used to breaking the law, so he's the guy that can actually be utilized to actually oppose the oppressive force. It's really cool, and he winds up, like, in this other world, he winds up becoming a hero. Kind of like Han Solo. Kind of like Han Solo and Lando. The criminals wind up becoming the heroes. You know, part of the reason why we love those classic characters. So I really thought Dimitri was an excellent lead hero. I thought he was really cool. I was digging. I was feeling for his ex-girlfriend and the little brother that's actually a drug dealer for him. I thought they all worked. I thought they were good leads for this story. I don't know this actress's name, but I really liked seeing the girl from Dexter, like the chief of police from Dexter was one of the ones in this, and she lived through the movie, which is cool. Happy to see her. I'm spacing on her name. Again, I'm terrible at this, but I actually really liked the movie. It was a good action piece, and it was also a slow build. What I really liked about it is it really felt like they did a good job of setting up how this whole thing started. Like they showed the rise of the new founding fathers and how they'd saved the country, and they want to try this whole thing out. People aren't okay with it. People are are protesting this whole thing that like we shouldn't allow people to murder everybody. And there's a nice slow build. There's like a lot of people are not purging. A lot of people at the beginning of the movie don't start killing each other. They just like, well, wait a minute. They do the logical thing. Well, like if every single crime is legal right now, well then fuck it. I'm just gonna break into an ATM and take all the money. I'm gonna rob a store. I'm not gonna kill the guy. I'm just gonna rob him. Why not? Because all crime is legal right now. So let's just do that. I thought that was really cool. It was kind of like a bunch of people just went to a party and got laid and got drunk and whatnot. It took a while for one of our villains, Skeletor, to start stabbing people. Skeletor was fun. I liked that villain too. And again, I like his name especially because it's a good old He-Man reference. But yeah, it was a good setup. There were some creative kills and creative purges in this one. Like there was the two old ladies who were like, yeah, we're gonna purge. We had people talking shit about us our entire life, being mean to us our entire time, so we're gonna purge. And I was like, what the? I'm looking at these two old women. I was like, what the fuck kind of shit have you been through? It's like, I just like, really, whatever. And then like, later on, they're buying it. Like the purge starts, they're buying a bunch of freaking like stuffed animals, and it's like, what? And then later on, like the little brother of Dimitri's girlfriend goes down an alleyway, and the stuffed animals are all over the place. And they made these like pipe bombs that they had tied to the mall, and they're up in the wind, and like ha ha ha, and they start setting off all the bombs in the alleyway. That was a really creative little horror vignette right there. I thought that was really cool. So they got pretty creative with these things. Basically there was a slow build to everything. On top of that, another thing about the Purge movies that I've never really been feeling until this point was kind of the political nature of the Purge movies. I've never really bought the whole like the racial side of the Purge nor the economic side of it. It's like, a lot of all the Purge movies up to this point, it's like the Purge is just an excuse to get rid of the poor people. The Purge is just the racist white people trying to kill all the minorities and all the poor people. And it's like, all right, look, I get it. I get where you're going with this movie. But here's the thing. Like, listen, if your country has a murder Christmas, race is no longer an issue. If your country has a murder Christmas, economics is no longer the issue. The biggest issue trumping both race And economic inequality should be the fact that our country has a fucking murder Christmas. That should be more important than, oh, black and white people ain't getting along. Rich and poor people ain't getting along. It doesn't fucking matter. Your fucking country's okay with murder once a year. Your country is pro-chainsaw maniac. That's a bigger problem. Your civilization should get rid of that first before having to worry about any of this. So I've never really bought it. I never really bought it until this movie. This movie, they doubled down on it, but they did it in a way that worked really well. Yeah, people didn't purge. Only a couple people decided to really purge, and even then, they did stuff like they robbed stores, they scared people. They didn't really do anything crazy. They didn't really. There were not a whole lot of crazy purge maniacs that we see in the other films. There are one or two. You have to. It's a purge movie. So a couple people wearing masks, attacking people and killing people, but it was few and far between. And the reason why is because most people were acting like real people would in this situation. You got no law to stop you. They're gonna go around and commit non-lethal crimes. And the scientist lady's looking like a fool because she does not actually. It's not supporting the theory that she's got going. And we come to find out that the people that wind up going into churches mowing people down are soldiers and mercenaries from Russia. And all disguised as like KKK members and things like that. And the reason, what it boils down to is like the real people that we see purging are actually hired by the government. And the corrupt politician guy basically says, look, there's too much writing on this. Our country's overpopulated, our unemployment's skyrocketing, or like this is the only thing to save the country. I finally bought it. I finally bought the whole economic angle of the purge because it reminded me of another movie I like. It reminded me of The Running Man and like Total Recall and other sleazy 80s science fiction films where you have a corrupt government. Like it reminded me of Running Man in particular. It reminded me of Killian. It reminded me of this sleazy 1980s dystopia where it's like there's no fucking bones about it. This government is a corrupt piece of shit that doesn't give a shit about human life and is going to throw human life aside just to see a higher percentage. It's like, to quote Ripley, you don't see the xenomorphs fucking each other over for a goddamn percentage, but you'll see us do it. And I bought it, and I thought it was cool. And they were excellent villains for Dimitri to have to fight. And it was other things too, them coming to the aid of the old guys from the neighborhood who are basically holding out as best they can. And the very ending, where he lives, and he's like, spoiler alert. This review contains spoilers. I'm sorry. I'm bad at this. The ending where he gets he basically says it's not over. The battle's just begun. It felt really good. This is actually a really well done prequel. And seriously, like for those of you who are too snobby to give a good rating to a Purge movie because it's a Purge movie, it's because, I turned my nose at this. This wouldn't actually happen. Listen, seriously, give this fucking movie a chance. It was a very well done entry in this series, and I think it worked really well as an action movie. I think it worked well and it worked well as a science fiction horror movie, because that's what these Purge movies are to me. They're taking, like, just take for a minute, just put your, I'm not saying turn off your brain, but just imagine for a minute the government gets so bad that they actually institute this. They actually decide to say one night a year we can all just fucking go crazy and kill each other. And put yourself into that for a moment. And then watch the movie. Watch the movie. You'll be right there with Dimitri. You'll be right there backing him up and hoping that he takes back the streets. It was really good. So I honestly really enjoyed the First Purge. And I'm running to finish up. Anyway, the point is, folks, the First Purge is a good film. Check it out, enjoy it, watch it at your local theater. Just, it's like, if they're, out of all the crap that's coming out of Hollywood lately, I'm happy I finally got to see a movie that's really good and isn't a Marvel movie. So yeah, check out the First Purge. It's actually really, really good. This is the Dread Pirate saying, stay scared, folks. Stay scared.